thank you for joining me here this morning. The time is currently 11:35 a.m. Central, and you have a live look at what is ongoing here in the United States in terms of severe weather, right? We have ourselves a special weather statement for portions of western New York. This is for the threat of wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour here, so we're going to have to watch this storm as it heads eastward towards Champion. Now, this is only the beginning. As we go later into today, specifically into the afternoon and evening time hours, we're going to be talking about the potential for a widespread severe weather or potentially even tornado outbreak across parts of New England today, all right? We're talking New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, all right? These areas today have an enhanced risk of severe weather driven by a 10% chance to see a tornado within 25 miles of any given point. This is the first time we have seen this level of risk in New England in 6 years, the 10% tornado risk. This is not a common thing that New England gets, all right? So we're going to have to watch today for, again, the potential for tornadoes, maybe even an isolated strong tornado or two, but the Storm Prediction Center has not gone with the hatch risk for tornadoes. So here's what the SPC is thinking, hey, maybe we get ourselves a few tornadoes, but most of them are probably going to stay on the weaker to moderately strength side of things, rather than, having a strong tornado. Now, I would like to point out that yesterday we had multiple strong tornadoes, and we didn't even have this level of risk. So anything is possible. Yesterday we did have multiple PDS tornadoes touch down in Wisconsin. There's a ton of damage. Unfortunately, I could not have gone live at that time, but here we are now, and I hope this is working. I think I have my face cam on for the first, this is the first time I've streamed with a face cam on. I finally figured out how to do it. I finally, finally decided to figure out how to do it, and I think I did it correctly. So yeah, there we go. You're surprised to see this? My face cam or my, this stream? Yeah, I mean, we're not really going to be covering too much here this morning, but I did want to go live to kind of break down the threat that our severe weather outbreak is going to withhold here today, and then also kind of just, face cam, hello, and then also kind of talk about some of the few stronger storms that we have out there already in the United States, what those are doing, and, so on and so forth. So I did just post a severe weather forecast, so if you're looking to see something a little bit more in depth, I'd recommend checking that out after the stream is over. But we're going to go ahead and go through a quick rundown of what both the models are showing here, right? So the HRRR is saying, hey, we're not really going to get any fully fledged supercells until 3 p.m. this afternoon. That'd be 4 p.m. Eastern time. And these are going to really slam into Vermont here, all right? Parts of western New Hampshire, eastern New York, really going to, again, have the potential there for some very large hail and damaging winds, and then potentially, again, even a couple of tornadoes embedded in those storms there. So we're going to have to look out for that. That same kind of threat continues around 4 to 5 p.m., that being 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, for portions of southeastern New Hampshire, southwestern Maine there. So we're going to have to look out for that. Now, the NAM is actually painting a little bit of a different story, but it's pretty similar overall here, right? So this is what it's showing here for this morning. Let's go ahead and push things out here to, we'll say 1 p.m., so 2 p.m. Eastern, right? It's saying, hey, we're going to have ourselves some very strong storms here impacting portions of New York, all right, down into PA, maybe even back into far eastern and central portions there of Ohio, potentially. We could have that threat for, again, a couple of strong to severe storms. These are going to keep pushing eastward, and then around 3 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern, these are going to continue to, once again, sweep in areas like, Vermont, kind of similar to what the HRRR was showing. We may have ourselves a big-time severe weather threat for Vermont. Now, the difference between the NAM and the HRRR is that the NAM is painting things a little bit slower, all right? They're saying, hey, by 6 p.m., we could still be dealing with a severe weather threat here in the United States, mainly across parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, maybe back into extreme eastern New York, and then it's saying, hey, 7 p.m., big-time damaging wind threat for parts of Maine and New Hampshire, and then, even by 9 p.m., it's still saying, hey, we still got some storms out here, strong to severe across parts of southeastern New Hampshire and southwestern Maine. So that's the those are the models for that event. Now, we are going to have a secondary event there that I did see that Gooseman just pointed out in chat. We've got ourselves a slight risk of severe weather for portions of Montana and North Dakota. This is an extremely small slight risk, right? It is very tiny. This is for areas like Scobie, Plentywood, back onto the North Dakota side of the state line. This includes areas like Crosby, all right, Noonan, all right. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about the model agreements and disagreements here with this mode of storms, right? So the HRRR is saying, hey, you know, we're really not going to get anything until late this evening. We're around 8 p.m., and 8 p.m. would be Central, so 7 p.m. Mountain. I know it's kind of confusing with all the different time zones here, but if you're on the Montana side, we're talking 7 p.m., all right? But if you're on the North Dakota side, we're talking 8 p.m., all right? And again, we're seeing some of those supercells start to fire off there, but mainly actually still up all the way into Canada there, but they kind of do spill into the United States just a little bit. Actually, really not on the most recent run of the HRRR. Really, the HRRR at this point is saying this is going to be Canada's problem. So we'll see what happens here, right? I know in the previous runs, the HRRR was saying, hey, maybe some of these dip into extreme northern portions of Montana and North Dakota. Now, again, if the HRRR is correct here, the U.S. or Montana and North Dakota may not see anything out of this. But again, the thing is these supercells are so close to the U.S.-Canada border that I think they've just went ahead and added the slight risk here as a precautionary measure, just in case, you know, these end up being, you know, 50 miles further south than we originally thought they would, and they end up in the United States, right? So the NAM. All right, let's go and take a look at the NAM. All right, what is it showing? Okay, so this is, we'll push things out to about, you know, 1 p.m. Central. Again, that would be noon Mountain. Now, it's showing some unorganized showers and thunderstorms up into Canada that maybe come out of parts of Montana, but that's not the main severe threat, right? Again, the main severe threat's going to come later into the evening, where the NAM actually is showing a little supercell here trying to ride along the U.S.-Canada border here, where in portions of extreme northeast Montana there, you know, around 6, 7 p.m. Mountain, we may have ourselves a decent severe weather threat with, again, some of these supercells. And again, this would be the main one that we're watching, as it is on the United States side of the border. And it's also a little bit more discreet. And that continues in, you know, 8 p.m. Mountain. And then eventually we cross into Central Time here by 10 p.m. Central. I mean, again, we're talking about a few supercells out there. Do they stay on the Canada side of the border, or do they dip into the United States? We really don't know. The NAM is saying, hey, maybe they go down to the United States a little bit. But there's a lot of disagreements here along the models, as you can see by both of our events today. So it is going to take a minute here. It's going to be one of those things where we're not going to know what's going to happen until it's over, unfortunately. So, you know, just be prepared for the potential for some strong to severe storms up here in extreme northeastern Montana and extreme northwestern North Dakota, as, again, a lot of these cells are literally hugging the border. So, anyway, my voice is getting tired already, all right? Only been talking for 6 minutes, and my voice is already getting tired, so I'm going to give it a rest. If anybody has any questions in chat, feel free to ask them. Let's go and zoom back in here on our New York storm. Sorry. Gotta give my voice a rest there. Yeah, I'm kind of realizing that a lot of times I'm, like, really hunched over like this, where you can't even see me on my, my face cam there. So that's a little unfortunate, but this works. Just gotta remember to sit up straight. It's better for my posture anyway if I do that, so. Again, these cells are going to be heading eastward towards Champion and Watertown. Watertown being the big city in this warning here. So again, we are expecting some 40-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts to be a potential with these here, as they cross into the United States from the Canada side of the border. What else is there to talk about? We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now along the New York-Vermont state line here, and this actually has the tornado possible tag on it. 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts and the tornado possible tag are associated here with this severe thunderstorm warning. There's your rotation. It's broad, but it's there. So again, if you're in Crow Point, Mariah, you need to be making sure that you are moving indoors immediately. Same thing with North Hudson there. So yeah. Okay. So, I didn't have the alert sound ready, but this is the sound here we're going to play whenever a new severe thunderstorm warning gets issued.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
We'll play it louder than that. I did not think it was going to be that quiet. me go ahead and turn my light on here so that the stream quality is a little better. But yeah, we're going to continue to watch this little baby storm here, as it's really not much of a baby storm anymore. Again, I really think the main reason they issued this is so that they could say there's rotation with this storm, but there's no... It doesn't deserve a tornado warning, and there's no rotation warning, so they just had to go ahead and issue a severe warning, but I'm really not even too sure if this is going to pack the punch with those 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. It could. Looks like we may have an elevated area of winds here right now near Jones Hill and Hedgehog Hill, but... if you're in this area, just make sure you're getting indoors, and again, you'll be fine. This is crossing over Interstate 87 as we speak here. If you're traveling along Interstate 87, in between South Scroon and North Hudson, I'd be careful, and definitely pay attention to where you're going, Don't take your eyes off the road, as this is going to be a pretty interesting situation for folks traveling along Interstate 87 in this area. Again, this storm is heading off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Okay. I think I get the general track here. So let's kind of talk about some of the areas that could be impacted by this storm here over the next several minutes. So we're talking about this being over Shroon Falls in 3 minutes. Again, if you're in Shroon Falls, you got to get indoors, man. Okay, we scrolled way too far down there. Cold Spring Park, 28 minutes. All right, I'd go ahead and get inside if I'm in Cold Spring Park, though. Mariah, you've got about 29 minutes there, it looks like. But again, if you're in Mariah, I'd just go ahead and, get indoors. Mariah Center, you got about half an hour. But again, I'd say the same thing. It's better to be safe than sorry. Just go ahead and get indoors now. We got Witherby in the track of this in about 31 minutes. Again, if you're in Witherby, make sure you're getting indoors there. Mineville, 32 minutes. Make sure you're getting indoors. Chimney Port, 34 minutes. Now we're starting to get into the areas that have a little bit of time. Chimney Point, again, 34 minutes. They're right along the New York-Vermont state line, is not included in that warning. Willow Point, 34 minutes. West Addison, 39 minutes. Addison in 41 minutes. Westport in 44 minutes. Panton in 46 minutes. Wadhams in 48 minutes. Waltham in 53 minutes. Vergennes in 54 minutes. Wallensburg in 54 minutes. Ferrisburg in 56 minutes, and Essex in 56 minutes. Those are some of the areas that are going to be in the track of this storm here as it continues. And again, there's a little bit of rotation associated with this storm in this area here. Again, that's the area that we'd be watching for a potential tornado to develop. But yeah, let me know. Do you guys like the face cam, or should I take it off? I don't know. It kind of distracts from the main point of the stream here, but also it adds another element, which is always good to see. But yeah, I really was not expecting to see a severe thunderstorm warning this early. I really thought this was just going to be kind of a stream where we talk about what's going to be happening later today, but we've got ourselves a little storm here. Again, heading towards North Hudson and Paradox. Again, there's your rotation, heading northeastward. We gotta watch that. Okay, this is going to be crossing the New York-Vermont state line relatively shortly as well, towards Vergennes, Bristol, and Middlebury, eventually going over there. So again, that's our main focus right now. Here's this storm here with the tornado possible tag. Yes, we do have the face cam now. I figured that would interest a few people. But yeah, again, this is the storm that we're watching right now. Really not too impressive at this point. It never really was super dangerous looking. But again, it's really the only reason that I feel like they're keeping this warning is because of the tornado possible tag. I highly doubt this is actually producing 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. It could be, but again, if it were, it would be isolated down to this little corridor here right now over Interstate 87. Again, heading northeastward towards Mariah, Port Henry, Cold Spring Park. those areas, in extreme eastern New York here. Yeah, whenever we got a severe thunderstorm warning, I really thought it would be for a storm over here in Watertown, because this actually does look to be producing some form of gusty winds there. Again, potentially up to 40, maybe even up to 50 miles per hour now, as we kind of got ourselves a little Boeing segment going on, potentially, as this enters Watertown here. Adds attention? Yeah, I think so. I think it does. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should I... It's all up to you guys, because if you guys don't like it, then I'll get rid of it. But just thought it'd be fun to try out for one stream, and this is probably a good stream to try it out on, because this isn't really a super intense period of weather right now. It could be later today, but not right now. Yeah, yesterday was crazy. It was really sad whenever I couldn't go live for it. If you're not aware, we had multiple PDS, that standing for particularly dangerous situation, tornadoes touched down here in Wisconsin, mainly in the southern part of the state. We had a big time one go through the Janesville area. We had one near Argyle. There were really photogenic tornado pictures, but still sad to see, obviously. So again, this is the storm we're watching. Getting a little baby area of inflow there, maybe trying to create a hook echo. Yeah, the one south side of Janesville, southeast side of Janesville is very intense. And then again, also the one near Argyle was a pretty big deal. Or photogenic, to say the least. There are pictures of a church being completely destroyed on the south side of... It was like Mason or something was the town's name. I don't know. It wasn't Mason, but it was something like that. It was like a boy's name here in southern Wisconsin. I don't remember what it was. Marshall, was that it? I don't know. Whatever. So, again, this storm is going to go ahead and continue to parallel Highway 74 here as it approaches Chimney Point. Didn't hear of any injuries, but you could be wrong. Yeah, and also search and rescue is still ongoing, so it's a little early to, say whether or not there were injuries from that event. Here's a problem that we're going to have with today's severe weather event. We have, I hate when this happens, we have the Boston, Massachusetts radar, Portland, Maine radar, Burlington, Vermont radar, Albany, New York radar. What are we going to do if we get any storms in here? The most likely corridor for severe thunderstorm development. What are we going to do? It's just like such a small radar hole, but of course the severe weather threat for today had to bullseye it, so we're going right on top of a radar hole area. So it's going to be hard to see a lot of these storms. But, I mean, our Burlington radar site is probably going to be the one that gets used the most. But then again, we're going to have to use these three as well quite a bit. And then also, I'd like to note, again, it's not like we're just going to see severe storms in the Northeast today. This risk dips all the way back down here into Kentucky. So it's the greatest severe threat and tornado threat, again, lies up into New England, but we could even see an isolated severe storm or two back down into Kentucky, and then also maybe an isolated tornado threat develops as well. It's two different, I don't know about different, but two areas of storms here. So we got our New England area, which is going to be the very intense one. If you're northeast of this line, again, this is where the greatest severe threat lies. If you're southeast of this line here, you still have a severe threat. Or, sorry, southwest of this line, you still have a severe threat, but it's not quite as high. Still there, but not quite as high. So. Again, we got a little baby hook echo associated with this storm. It looks like just itty-bitty one there, due to this little pocket of inflow going into the storm. So it's trying to get itself together, trying to get its act together and rotate here, but it's not doing a great job. Again, I mean, at best right now it's producing some form of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour there, I'd say. Southeast and North Hudson. And again, I'm watching our storm here rolling into Watertown as well, as this one looks to be relatively intense. Again, gusty winds up to 40 miles per hour may be associated with that storm there. I don't know, the face cam looks kind of weird just because of how low quality the stream is. Now, I don't know why, like, I stream it in 1080p. I don't know why it looks so pixelated, but my streams always have, and it makes the face cam look a little goofy. I don't know, it's not terrible. You know what, we'll go ahead and throw a poll up here in chat. Do you guys like the face cam or not? Alright, start poll. The terrain there in the risk area is a bit not good for them chasers. Yeah, New England is not known as the storm chasing country. Oh gosh, it's gonna be pretty miserable. I imagine we actually probably have chasers positioning themselves a little bit further southwest. But even like back here isn't great storm chasing country. Once you get into like Appalachia, it's really not as good as you would think. We got all these cities out here. Really populated area, so there's going to be quite a bit of traffic. Alright, seems like everybody likes the face cam. We'll keep that poll up, though. I don't know, I have mixed feelings on it. I can't tell whether I like it or not. That's why I did that poll. And right now we've got ourselves some showers and maybe an isolated thunder shower trying to develop up here in Canada, but first of all, those aren't really dipping down in the United States too much, except for this little sliver here, but also these are not going to be our intense cells that we're talking about that are going to arrive later this evening. So again, after our New England threat, we're even going to have ourselves another threat to cover up here into the northern plains, the northwestern plains, and, you know, it's another just... Like, the streak doesn't end, man. Going into tomorrow, big-time severe weather risk for parts of the upper Midwest. Going into Tuesday, big-time severe weather risk for parts of the Midwest. Like, we are just getting risk day after risk day after risk day. Now, Tuesday, actually, I think could be one of the more intense over the next few days. Right now, we don't even have a hatch risk or anything, but a lot of the models have been suggesting that we get ourselves some intense storms up here, and the environment is definitely favorable. Definitely favorable for that. So, again, on Tuesday, I mean, across parts of, you know, eastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and southwest Michigan, I'd be looking out for a potential big-time severe weather risk. Again, you've already got yourselves a slight risk, a 2 out of 5 on the scale, but it could go higher if the model agreement continues to be there, if the dynamics and the thermodynamics are set in stone. It'll definitely help out with the risk factor there. So again, our storms are now rolling into Watertown. If you guys are in Watertown, again, you need to get indoors, but after the storm is over, it would actually be greatly appreciated if you saw any damage, if you sent that into your local National Weather Service office, because that actually helps us know the intensity of the storm, because it's only warned for 40-mile-per-hour gusty winds, but honestly, I mean, that Boeing segment there, that looks pretty intense, so we'll see. If you guys have any, like, tree limbs down, or, you know, if you have any loose objects blown around or something like that, those are kind of the reports we're looking for out of those. But obviously, if you have any more major stuff too, like trees down on roads, power lines down, that would obviously be greatly appreciated. But I doubt this storm is going to be something that packs a punch like that. Alrighty. Just realizing how much I shake around in my chair while I'm live. I don't know. If you can't tell, I have mixed feelings about the face cam. Alright. So, what's happening here is we've got our main cell, obviously, that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like we've got ourselves a little cell merger trying to come in here. And that could either, you know, weaken our weaken our northern cell, the one that has the severe warning, the region we have the severe warning, or they could merge together and become stronger. So we'll have to watch out for that potential threat there. I think at this point, the severe thunderstorm warning could probably be removed. Again, it's a little surprising it ever even got issued, but I could see it there for a little bit, maybe, but probably not anymore. Another problem with today's event, absolutely no cyclone ports up here in New England, because New England doesn't get severe weather. It's just not a thing that happens here, so we don't have any cyclone ports or anything. There are going to be a lot of traffic cams, but I can't bring those up on stream. So, and then again, not even chasers are going to be out here today. So, I imagine actually a lot of our chasers are getting into position for tomorrow's event into the upper Midwest, because after that event, it's not going to be a long drive to go down to Tuesday's event. In fact, you could stay in the same place, or close to it anyway. But okay. So again, if you're just not sitting in, we've been live here for about a half hour now covering severe weather across portions of New York and Vermont. Currently, we have ourselves a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts and a possible tornado. This is right along the New York-Vermont state line here. This is near Crow Point and Mariah. So if you are in this area, make sure that you are getting indoors, as that storm is definitely going to pack a punch there with some damaging winds and, again, a possible tornado trying to develop. At this point, the tornado threat is incredibly low with these storms, though. These are really, you can hardly even call them storms anymore. They're basically thunder showers. But again, they could be packing a punch with some gusty to damaging winds at times. Again, it's just not nearly as concerning as it was earlier. And even earlier, it wasn't anything crazy. So, okay, we'll keep watching them, though. As long as necessary. I would watch for maybe another severe thunderstorm warning to come out for this cell behind our ones up here. Now, this one's not quite as impressive, but definitely some heavy rainfall is going to come out of that, approaching North Hudson. Again, it's going to cross Interstate 87 there. It's going to go to the north of North Hudson, I guess. But yeah. And then again, I mean, any of these cells back here, obviously, into western New York, near the Great Lakes, Ontario, Erie, could have the potential to get strong to severe for a little bit. It's looking like we have some customers in McKean County, Pennsylvania, without power here. Now, these may not be storm-related, but we do have currently 1,300 customers without power here. So, it's interesting as a storm's rolling through. So, you have a question? I'm assuming you didn't mean to send the message yet. And now we have a tornado watch. What's the window for tornadic activity? We kind of talked about it earlier, but it'd be like 4, 5, 6 p.m. Eastern. But anyway, we have a tornado watch now for parts of Massachusetts, New York, and likely some more states here, but it hasn't fully loaded in yet. So give me just a second, and I'll bring the details up for that on your screen. So again, a new tornado watch has been issued. 4 parts of New England here as our severe thunderstorm threat increases. This was as of 4 minutes ago. This is a new tornado watch for parts of Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York. So Again, the tornado threat with this is moderate. The strong tornado threat with this is low. The damaging wind threat with this is moderate. The destructive wind threat with this is low. The large hail threat with this is moderate. And the very large hail threat with this is low. Now, the primary threats include, all right, a few tornadoes likely. All right, that's different than a couple tornadoes possible. I know there's some confusion in there about those two wordings from the Storm Prediction Center, but a few tornadoes likely is a step up from a couple tornadoes possible. So we'll have to look out for that. Again, they're expecting a few tornadoes here in New England, it looks like. Scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles per hour likely. We'll have to watch out for some destructive winds at times. And scattered large hail events up to ping pong ball size and diameter possible. Hail is definitely the lowest of the threats for today, but still there. So, anyway, that is our brand new tornado watch. Let's see here. It is a 60-20. Yep. So, I mean, again, a strong tornado can't be entirely ruled out, but they're giving it about a 20% chance, it looks like, that we have a strong tornado today. I think it's interesting how my face cam still stays on even whenever I'm screen mirroring. That's really cool. I guess I don't know why that wouldn't happen, but I just wasn't really expecting it. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for the cell that I mentioned earlier here behind our North Hudson storms. It just disappeared, but it did get issued there. I did see it. You heard the alert sound.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for parts of extreme eastern New York. Actually, it's not for that cell. It's for these. What in the world? We got ourselves some thunder showers here, prompting a severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service for parts of New York and Vermont, southeastern Franklin County, central Essex County, and northwestern Addison counties across New York and Vermont. We got some 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts and penny-sized hail associated with these storms potentially heading for Lewis and Keene. So, again, these are over Mount Redfield right now. Even though the rain with these is not going to be anything super crazy, it's really going to be moderate rainfall at best. These are going to pack a punch. They really are. These are not high precip storms here, guys, which again is part of the reason that the hail threat is very low for today. But yeah, we are not seeing high precip cells this morning. Again, I'd call these thunder showers. I don't think they fully earned the title of thunderstorms because the rain with them isn't that heavy, but they have prompted a severe thunderstorm warning now, as just because they're not producing heavy rain doesn't mean that they're not strong. We got wind and some hail with those storms. I'd also like to point out they removed our severe warning for the Mariah area. So that storm is done there. You're good to get outdoors or whatever you wanted to do in that area now. So this is moving off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. This thing is racing off to the northeast here. It's speeding. So let's go ahead and drag this out again. Talk about some of the areas, kind of like we did with our other storm. Talk about some of the areas that could be impacted by this. What's up, Newcastle? So Keene, you got 5 minutes. Again, if you're in Keene, you be indoors. St. Hubert's 5 minutes, same thing. Get inside. Keene Valley, 6 minutes, same thing. Elizabethtown, 14 minutes, same thing. New Russia, 14 minutes, same thing. Lewis, 22 minutes, same thing. Stowersville, 23 minutes. Same thing there. Wadham's 24 minutes. And then it keeps going down, Crowing Shield in 25 minutes, Deerhead in 26, Reber in 27, Wallensburg in 28, Essex in 29, and Bouquet in 30. Will Roman go live later? Yeah, I'm sure he will, for sure. Yep. Yeah, I know him and Mr. Storm were live yesterday. I felt a little left out, but it's okay. It's not like I'm mad at them or anything. I'm just saying it was kind of sad because I couldn't go live. Okay, this is something to watch out for. This little thunderstorm trying to develop here approaching Wells. It's a little itty bitty baby cell, but so are all of our other ones here, and they've been prompting severe thunderstorm warning, so we'll watch it. Alrighty. So, again, I mean, just continuing to watch this little thunder shower here, and then also our special weather statement storm. Again, this is really intense. I'm surprised this has not gotten a severe thunderstorm warning yet. We're definitely seeing damaging winds with this, and also very torrential rain in spots, I imagine, but damaging winds are the main thing, with potentially up to 50 miles per hour, maybe even 60 miles per hour at times. So we'll see if they issue a severe thunderstorm warning with that as it continues to intensify there. But yeah, I'm also watching our little thunderstorm down here approaching Wells. Again, this is going to go through Wells. It's going to be a very brief pocket of heavy rain as it continues to intensify there. So we'll just kind of sit here with this for a minute. Some of the bigger cities included in this tornado watch include Montpelier, Albany. We got Concord, Portland, Burlington. All these cities here across New England, these major cities. And, this is actually a very populated watch box, even though it's not a super huge area. It is a incredibly populated watch box. Let's see here what the exact number is. Yeah, and Tornado Watch already has 40, it's already trending. So this is big news because a lot of people don't get this out here in New England. They're worried. Yeah, over 8 million residents are included in this tornado watch already. And again, I'm sure this is not the last watch that we're going to get today. This will probably be the main one, but okay. And again, right now we're really only concerned about parts of New York and Vermont with these thunder showers here. Again, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 1:45 p.m. Eastern for Franklin, Essex, and Addison counties across New York and Vermont, respectively. Let's check up here on our Wells storm again. It's getting going. We may have even some smaller hailstones trying to get going in that area. So again, Wells, I mean, this is coming right into Wells. So if you're in Wells, I mean, I'd go ahead and get inside Blackbridge, especially on the south side of Wells. We're going to see some heavy rain there. Again, it's going to be incredibly brief. It's only going to be a couple minutes, but boy, is it going to be an absolute downpour, I imagine. If that's not hail, that is just super duper heavy rain. And that's probably what it is, actually. Maybe a little bit of both. We'll see here. See if we get any reports out of this area. I'm sure it's not going to be any reports that will pop up on Red or Omega because it won't be large hail, but yeah. Maybe some pea-sized hail mixed in there. Basketball-sized hail. Pumpkin-sized hail. Bowling ball-sized hail. Jupiter-sized hail. That escalated quickly. Again, these thunder showers here are going to continue to cross Interstate 87. And again, some of these are producing damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and hail up to penny-sized. And yes, I am calling them thunder showers because, look at this, we don't really have any concentrated pockets of heavy rain with this. I mean, maybe now we do. But still, I mean, these are just barely storms, if you could call them storms at all. But again, if these are thunder showers, they are very intense ones, enough to have prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds from the National Weather Service. And again, penny-sized hail there as well. Because again, there's a difference between 0.75 and the less than 0.75 thing that they use. A lot of people think that this means there's no hail. That's what this is for. And then for tornado warnings, it's weird. For tornado warnings, they'll actually just say 0-inch hail if there's no hail. But on severe warnings, they usually just say, other than one time, I think it was a mess up that time, but every time I've just seen them use zero or less than 0.75. So, anyway, minor discrepancies, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, just as long as people are getting the right message. We have some storms up here into Canada that are trying to rotate. Let's see. Yeah, this one coming into Montreal is actually rotating pretty hot there. So we'll see what that does. Oh, it was more impressive earlier, actually, though. Let's see. Looks like it actually had a pretty decently defined velocity couplet. It probably got a tornado warning in Canada. Let's see. Is it still in effect? Was one issued at all? I don't know, but if it was is it still in effect? Nope. Nopey dopey. It does have a severe thunderstorm warning, though, which makes sense. For the next 2.5 hours. They have such a weird warning system over there. Am I a teacher? I'm not a teacher. So again, here's all of our thunderstorms right now, and again, these are the ones that we're picking out that are probably the severe ones at this point, and at least have the most torrential rainfall. But all of these are going to be capable of producing gusty winds. But again, the damaging winds are going to be back here into this corridor. Damaging winds of 60 miles per hour, and then again, maybe a little bit of penny-sized hail mixed in there. Got ourselves a little baby hailstorm rolling through parts of New York and Vermont right now once again. And if you're not sitting in, a tornado watch has just been issued for portions of New England. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't know what happened. Did I say something? But yeah, I mean, our damaging winds are going to be back here with this storm, really. I'm so smart. Thank you. But yeah, again, these are the storms that we're watching. probably the most concerning ones in the whole country right now. They actually let the Watertown special weather statement, actually, yeah, I think it expired, but they could have removed it, but I think it expired. They let it expire there, but if anything, these storms look more intense to me now. Actually, I guess at this point, the damaging wind threat would be lower. There's not really a clear bow echo segment anymore. But I'll tell you what, we still got very heavy rain and probably some hail mixed in there, so I'd reissue that special weather statement, if not for wind, just for hail at this point. There's definitely some damaging winds in there, too, or at least gusty winds, to say the least. Alrighty. So again, we're watching our storm here crossing Interstate 87 as we speak, south of Lewis in New York. Again, crossing into Vermont pretty soon, not New Hampshire. But yeah, our marginal risk of severe weather extends all the way back out to the greater northeastern parts of Little Rock, all the way back up into Maine. So, very large risk of severe weather today. I mean, we've got, tens of millions of Americans facing the threat of severe thunderstorms today. Close to hundreds of millions. So, again, some of the most populated spots of the country today are going to be under the gun. Just to go over some of the more major cities out here in New England. New York City, you have a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5. Boston, you have a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5. All right, we got Pittsburgh sitting at a 2 out of 5. Philadelphia, 2 out of 5. Baltimore, 2 out of 5. Washington, looks like you're in the 1 out of 5, or you're right along the 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5 line there. But yeah, you're in the 1 out of 5 on the southern side, 2 out of 5 on the northern. Montpelier, you got the 3 out of 5. That's one of our bigger cities that we're concerned about today. Albany, you've got the 3 out of 5, another big city we're concerned about. Concord, 3 out of 5. Providence, you got 2 out of 5 there. And Rhode Island. Don't know why I said Rhode Island like that. Rochester, you got a 2 out of 5. Yeah, those are some of our New England cities. They're some of the bigger ones just listed off, and the risks associated in those areas. Again, if anybody has any questions about some specific locations, feel free to leave them down below. Alrighty. So yeah, it looks like it's interesting, our storm that was originally severe warning, right? The first severe warning that we had this stream. At this point, it's a thunder shower here. But we talked about a storm behind it that might get severe warning. It didn't get severe warning, but it's kind of merged now with our storm that is severe. And that's why we have a fully fledged thunderstorm now instead of just a thunder shower, is because of that back storm there. So all you guys that are about to get drenched with rain here along the New York, Vermont state line, you can thank that little supercell. Not supercell, but that little cell there. Sorry, I realize my face is barely even in my face cam. Let me sit up. But yeah, again, this is our storm at this point. It's a really chunky, beefy one. Again, warned for some 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts and penny-sized hail there. Holy cow, dude. Is that our... that is not the storm that we were talking about earlier. I don't even remember where that was. There's a specific town that it was approaching, but I don't remember what it was called. But anyway, big time storm here trying to develop. It's really not that big of a deal, but the reason I freaked out is because I thought it was that one storm. I will say, over a 3-minute period, it went from this to that as it ripped through Delhi. Strengthened after it went to the east of Delhi. So we have to watch that. Maybe doing some gusty winds and heavy rain at this point, some lightning. Maybe a little bit of tiny hail, pea-sized hail, but nothing too crazy just yet. But it may intensify as it enters this environment here. So Again, there's literally no cyclone ports out here. I'm doing a fantastic job, thank you. Yeah, there's no cyclone ports out here, so we're not going to be able to see these storms and actually what they look like in real life unless, you live out here. And again, we have, like, traffic cams and stuff like that, but I can't bring those up on stream for copyright reasons. And also, I just don't, like, I wouldn't do it anyway. Again, here's our thunderstorms here. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, it's crazy that we're already at 1.22k. Feels like we just hit 1,000. Vermont and New Hampshire, not the 6110%, and with all those trees, people are not going to see something coming, especially it's rain-wrapped. Well, that, and also, it's also an incredibly populated area compared to most of the United States, where we get those 10% risks. Like, normally, whenever we get a risk like this, it's out here, Kansas, Nebraska, the open fields, where, maybe we approach a city that has 2,000 people, but it's nothing like up here in New England, where the entire area is populated. So it's going to be pretty bad if we do get any tornadoes today in New England. Anywhere in New England, if we get a tornado today, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be bad. Not only because it's going to be dangerous, but also it's just rare. But yeah. Alrighty, so it still looks like most people want the face cam. So we'll keep it for the next few streams at least, see how it does, how people like it. Looks like we only had like one person that said no to it, so. I'm going to have to end off the live stream here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been not super active, but it's been a fun time. So again, thank you all for tuning in. And again, we will be back live again later today, covering the worst of these storms, the tornadoes, the destructive winds, stuff like that. So again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.